Hello and welcome to your rundown of news for Ark Survival Evolved. I'm falling a little behind this week, but we have got a few things to look at, including the next Community Crunch. So on Tuesday we got Community Crunch 197, getting pretty close to 200 now, and they start with talking about the next round of beginner servers. Beginner servers were something that were introduced last year and are a way to jump into Ark and learn the game on a beginner-friendly server. And then you're given the ability to transfer to another server when you're ready. As such, the servers are due to be wiped. Quoting the article, "We didn't intend for these servers to be a long-term place to become established. Because of this, we'll be implementing scheduled wipes and announcing the future dates in advance. Be sure to spread the word to any new survivors you run across. There's a list of scheduled dates up to December 2020, so if you play on one of the beginner servers or know someone who does, point them back to the Community Crunch so they can see the post and the list of dates. As always, I'll leave links to everything down below." Next is letting us know that the wildcard team will be streaming to raise money again for Extralife. In the words of the post, Extralife unites thousands of gamers around the world to play games in support of their local Children's Miracle Network hospital. Since its inception in 2008, Extralife has raised over $50 million for sick and injured kids. This is awesome. It's always great to see people coming together to watch and play video games for charity. As they get closer to the day of the stream, they'll let us know the schedule of events. There is a link to the donation page and a list of streamers on their team, who I guess are going to stream alongside Wildcard to raise money, which again is just awesome. And I do see a few names here that I'm looking forward to watching, and hopefully you do too. And it's all for a good cause, so it's a great excuse to sit on our butts and watch Ark streams all day. Looking at the on the horizon, they're talking about enabling PS4 transfers as a top priority, and have dedicated resources, which I would say is a dedicated team of people, working on tackling exploits that cause transfers to be turned off. They have also recognised that this is a considerable inconvenience for players, and it certainly seems they are working on getting to the bottom of it. It really seems you guys playing PS4 haven't had much luck with server problems and exploits, but it seems the devs have their heads down and are working on it, so hopefully it's not a problem you're going to have to deal with for much longer, and you can get back to just enjoying the game hassle-free. Or as hassle-free as Ark is going to be anyway. If you're interested in the public beta, there have been some updates based on feedback. Now the part I'm most excited about right now is the quality of life improvements that they're getting feedback for. So reading back from the Community Crunch once again, Cedric has been working on a comprehensive catalogue of quality of life requests. Many of the requests have come from the community, but some requests you see have been proposed by the design team. While places exist to catalogue this information, suggestions forums, Twitter, Reddit, etc., this is mainly for visibility purposes to let the community know what has been seen, requested and being worked on. If this becomes something you'd like to see more, we'll look at different ways of formalising it. Expect to see the catalogue later this week. So I'll definitely be watching this space, and I'll work on making an extra video if I can explaining what it's all about. For now, I'll leave related links for you to check out, and the catalogue is definitely worth a skim. Finally, there was another EVO event, but because I'm late to the party this week, it'll be past by the time you see this, so other than that, there isn't much to speak of news-wise, and the only updates are for the PS4 and the Xbox, and it was the same fixes as the PC had last week. So there's a fix with the minor crash case, which still not sure what that is, setting beer barrels to check for enemy foundations on placement so they cannot be placed next to enemy structures. Cryopods and cryofridges are now craftable in an obelisk terminal inventory, as well as supply crate inventories. And there's also minor map fixes for Valguero. Looking at the modding scene, there wasn't much that caught my eye this week in the new uploads, but there's still a lot of good mods out there. So if you're looking for something new to play, here's 3 you might have looked over. First of all is the Araneo Queen by Doomsdalia. I'm not going to get these names right, I'm just going to say in advance, but I'm going to give it my best effort. This is a mod that adds a new spider creature that you can tame, ride and breed. Although it has high health and its other stats are well rounded, and it spawns with a few minions, it does have low damage. This is because its perks come from the status effects that it can cause, which are listed in a discussion page. I think this is a great idea. It would have been very easy just to make a powerful tame with huge damage and lots of minions, so it's good to see something so creative. It also spawns a narcotic replacement, chitin and organic polymer in its inventory, which again is a clever feature. Scrolling through the comments and reading here about testing, I would say they're working through refining this mod, but I'd say it definitely still looks playable, and by the look of it, I don't think it'll be long before it's pretty polished. If you want to check it out for yourself, check out the links in the description. Now a more unusual one that I cannot ignore anymore, because every time I load up the mods page in the workshop, this pops up. Shadlos Bizarre Ark Venture, I can't say this, Dunkleocetus is Unbreakable by Shadlos. It's a mod that adds some wacky spawns that are balanced for the vanilla game. So they're not too much stat-wise, but looks-wise, they're pretty funny. And I mean, some of them are just plain silly. They are rare spawns and are unbreedable, so every tame will be all that more special. If you look at the critters' descriptions in the discussions, you can read up on the different spawns, so if it's something that takes your fancy, you should check it out. Finally, there's Ark Diseases by Sept, a mod that will add a bit of flavour to a more survival-based playthrough. As I'm sure you've already guessed, it adds several different diseases, like the cold, that will reduce your max stamina by 20% and very slowly drain your health. It lasts for 30 minutes and it isn't lethal if left uncured. On the other hand, there's pneumonia. It lasts for 20 minutes, will reduce your max stamina and speed by 75% and slowly drain your health. It will be lethal if left uncured. Or you could just catch sadness that will make you very sad and stop you gaining XP for 10 minutes. No. The way it works is a certain number of creatures will spawn infected with a disease, and if a player gets close enough to them, they can contract the disease themselves and start to suffer the effects. To both cure and prevent the disease, you can make a universal cure and be on your way. That is unless you choose extinction mode, where all normal diseases are disabled and you are at risk of catching one very nasty, very contagious one that will infect wild and tamed creatures and players. Once infected, you'll start losing health, and after 300 seconds, you're dead. The mod author themselves does say that because of complex scripting used to make the mod, you are likely to run into bugs. It is a work in progress, so if you come across any yourself, be sure to pass it on to the mod dev on the mod page and you'll be helping. Yay! Anything here spark your curiosity? Links to everything covered this week are in the description, and if there's something you'd like to see covered next week, leave us a comment. And until next week, have fun in the Ark.